The raw materials warehouse practitioner has a big responsibility for ensuring that material is available for production when it is needed.
To get this right, however, there are a few concepts that need to be understood, such as: what are raw materials and components? Where does the demand come from? What is a bill of material? How do different manufacturing environments impact the materials management?
Inventory items used for production are known as raw materials and components, and those which are sold are known as finished goods. Due to the different nature of the goods, raw materials and finished goods are typically separated within the warehouse.
Raw materials come directly from nature and can be classified into three categories: from animals, from plants, and from minerals.
Components are inventory items that originated as raw materials. They have been through some form of manufacturing process which has converted them from natural raw material into parts which will be used for the manufacture of a finished product.
Manufacturing is the main hub of activity for a business that produces and sells various products. Manufacturing is completely reliant on the timeless and accurate issue of materials and components to meet the expected production plan delivery dates.
Raw materials and components are often known simply as raw materials rather than distinguishing between the two.
Materials management is the control of the storage, movement, and issuing of raw materials and components used for production, supported by processes and procedures. Another way of looking at this is that materials management balances the demand and supply of materials.
What is demand? Demand is the total sum of the goods that are needed by customers and for internal use. Sales and marketing teams will generate a forecast, which is the best guess of what products customers will want and therefore what a company should manufacture.
Apart from the forecast, which is based on potential customer sales, there are other elements of demand. These are additional demand for seasonal sales, safety or buffer stock to cope with unexpected increases in demand or unreliable supply, demand for spare parts.
And then there is supply. Supply refers to all the materials that are purchased to manufacture the finished products, right down to the last nail or screw. Matching the supply of materials with the demand requires a huge amount of planning.
Things that need to be considered are: what supplier can we purchase from? What is the lead time for each item? And how far in advance do we need to place orders to have the materials available for production on the right day?
A tool used by many manufacturers is MRP, or Material Requirements Planning. MRP is essentially a large calculator which takes all the information available on the system and tells the purchasing department what to buy and when, and tells manufacturing when to start the production of the products. To make this work, the right information needs to be available. This information is stored in a unique inventory record for every item of material and on the bill of material, also known as the BOM.
Accuracy is critical for MRP to make the correct recommendations. If, for example, the inventory record indicates that a quantity of 100 is available, when actually there are 200 of that item available, MRP will suggest a purchase of an additional 100 items, resulting in too much inventory. Too much inventory costs the business money and clutters up the warehouse unnecessarily.
The BOM can be described as a recipe. It lists all the materials needed to manufacture a finished item. Sometimes a BOM has multiple levels. For example, when manufacturing a kettle cooker, the lid is made independently of the actual cooker. This results in a BOM which has more than one level.
Forecasts are very useful when there is a steady demand for a product. However, sometimes products are manufactured to a specific requirement for a customer and some customization is needed. It is much harder to predict the level of sales in this situation. There are 3 manufacturing strategies that have an impact on materials management. These are make to stock or MTS, make or engineer to order or MTO, assemble to order or ATO.
In the MTS manufacturing environment, finished goods are manufactured according to the forecast and kept in stock according to predetermined inventory levels. In the MTO manufacturing environment, the finished goods are manufactured when an order is received from a customer. Forecasts are used to help plan, but the forecast is replaced by actual orders as they are received by the customers. In the ATO manufacturing environment, products are manufactured up to a certain level of the BOM and only assembled as finished products when an order is received from a client.
To sum it up, production must have the right materials at the right time and in the right quantity to produce finished products according to demand. The role of materials management is a key factor in achieving this goal.